Hi, this is Brittany Madison, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Okay, now blow.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Brittany Madison, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Do it one more time, so I feel like I messed up.
All right. Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, I tell you on this channel all the time, the truth will always come to light. It will always come to light. You may have to wait for it to arrive, but it will always come to light, right? For those of you guys who have asked the question, I wonder how a fighter who isn't on the coincidental list, how would they have been treated if they were charged or accused of domestic violence? And now we know the answer to that question by looking at this Ronda Rousey scandal involving heavyweight UFC fighter Travis Brown and his ex-wife, Jenna Renee Webb. Now, Jenna Renee, she alleges that Travis Brown, he beat her up. Matter of fact, she even had pictures of the bruises. For those of you guys who don't know, on Real Sports with Brian Gumbel on HBO, he actually did a story on the UFC or MMA when it comes to domestic violence. And what I found out watching this piece is that there is more domestic violence in the sport of MMA than all of the other sports combined. Now, we often hear about domestic violence in the NFL, but while there were 210 arrests in the NFL for domestic violence, there were 750 arrests for domestic violence when it came to MMA fighters. So UFC, MMA, they have a big problem with domestic violence when it comes to their fighters. A lot of big name fighters have been charged for domestic violence, including Travis Brown, who once again is a heavyweight, okay? And obviously, the allegations of ex-wife Jenna Renee are resonating with the UFC because the UFC, they actually removed Travis Brown from the UFC International Fight Week following the assault accusations from his wife. So this is where the contradictions come in. Let's start with Ronda Rousey. Now, Ronda Rousey's someone who's been basically attacking Floyd Mayweather constantly, calling him a woman beater, etc., etc. She turns around and she starts dating a guy who's been accused of domestic violence. And this whole contradiction really enraged Travis Brown's ex-wife, Jenna Renee. Matter of fact, this is what she had to say about Ronda Rousey. Quote, "I expected more from her. She should be ashamed of herself. It's only a matter of time that she sees his true colors." You know what makes Ronda Rousey look even worse is the fact that legally Travis Brown is still married to Jenna Renee. And Ronda Rousey, she decided to start dating Travis Brown only weeks after Jenna Renee released the pictures of her being bruised up and beat up by Travis Brown. Okay, Ronda, so now I see how this works. So when fighters on the coincidental list get charged of domestic violence, you go after them, talking all type of stuff about them, etc., etc. But when someone who's not on the coincidental list gets accused of domestic violence and they're married, you go out and date them. Okay, we know what time it is. So every single time an NFL player gets accused of domestic violence, it's on every single news channel, and the media, they are shredding him, right? Same thing with Floyd Mayweather. Oh, but when it comes to MMA fighters, even though they're doing it at an alarming rate, we don't even really hear about it. I mean, you got to go to Real Sports to hear about it. And if you guys don't know about Real Sports, Brian Gumbel is usually reporting stories that no one is talking about, right? And that's exactly how this domestic violence epidemic in the sport of the UFC is being treated. And this is exactly how this Ronda Rousey story is being treated. A lot of people don't even know about this Ronda Rousey story. But every single time Ronda Rousey says something about Floyd Mayweather, we hear about that everywhere. But we don't hear too much about her having an affair with a married man who's beating on his wife, right? Call it a coincidence. That's all I got. I'm on to the next one.